Yeah. Rearview mirror small for a reason. What's behind me, lessons. What's ahead, legacy. Anti-season activated. Neo X in motion. I done drove through storms, pushed the rain. Carried old feel like a middle name. Used to tap brakes for opinions loud. Now I press gas, I'm shifting proud. Family first, that's the code I'm in. Laugh with my nephews, that's a real win. Peace in my chest, sun on my face. Growth got me moving at a different pace. No arguing with ghosts no more. Left the drama at the forefront door. If it don't build me, I let it go. If it ain't love, I don't let it grow. Sun shining on my windshield, heart finally starting to heal. No U-turns on this road, I'm in control. I got the pedal to the metal, speeding off of my haters. Hands high like better, ain't got time for no traitors. Pedal to the metal, yeah, I'm gon' see you later. Rearview small for a reason, I'm awakened, conscious creator. Pedal to the metal, pedal to the metal, pedal to the metal. Smiling while I'm shifting gears. Pedal to the metal, pedal to the metal, pedal to the metal. Smiling while I'm shifting gears. Greatest auntie, that's the title. Nephew's wild, my niece, my idol. Cookouts, movie nights, laughed aloud. That's the type of wealth I'm proud. Used to survive, now I elevate. Seeking knowledge, I illuminate. New consciousness in my mind. Old fears falling behind. I'm reading, growing, breaking chains, rewriting cycles, healing pain. They watching how I move and speak. So I'm walking what I teach. I ain't competing, I'm in my lane. Heavy foot, but light on pain. If it ain't growth, it ain't my speed. Love the only thing I need. I don't miss who I used to be. That version was surviving me. Now I'm thriving, federally free. My nephews laughing, my niece believe in me. I'm showing them what strength can be. Knowledge turned to legacy. They watching how I drive this road. So I'm choosing light, I'm choosing growth. Ain't the pedal to the metal, speeding off on my haters. Windows down, heart settle, surrounded by my favors. Pedal to the metal, ain't no going back later. Only love in my circle, everything else get vapor. Pedal to the metal, pedal, pedal to the metal, pedal, pedal to the metal. For my nephews and my me. Pedal to the metal, pedal, pedal to the metal, pedal, pedal to the metal. Building generational peace. Yeah. We not going backwards. We elevating. Seeking knowledge. Illuminating. Rearview mirror small for a reason. Pedal to the metal. Neo X. Decode the darkness.
Yo, check the mic, 1, 2, this is Nate the GOAT coming at ya. Got the freshest rhymes, the illest flow.
Yeah. Type in venom, keyboard fangs drip black ink. Clicks turn to cuts, she'll slice before you blink. Web weaver lies tighter than the boa constrict. Her words a guillotine, truth's neck gets nicked. She feeds on chaos, greed's a gasoline. Fingers dancing flames, a narcissistic machine. Profile pic pristine, but her soul's unclean. The devil wears wildfire, know what I mean? She's a shadow in the scroll, feeding off the hate. Manipulation of art, she's nasty Nate, nasty Nate. Spreading lies like a plague, hides behind a screen, throwing dirt in the shade. Clicks for the cash, no morals, no fate. The devil got a face and it's nasty Nate, nasty Nate. Spreading lies like a plague, hides behind a screen, throwing dirt in the shade. Clicks for the cash, no morals, no fate. The devil got a face and it's nasty Nate. Flashing fake smiles, crocodile schemes. Her DM's a graveyard of shattered dreams. Ass like queen, her throne a fiery screen. Every LOL hides a sinister gleam. Cloud chasing banshee, screaming for the dough. Loyalty's a language that you'll never know. Burning bridges quick, her matches strike low. In her own reflection, even demons say, whoa. Even demons say, nasty Nate. Spreading lies like a plague, hides behind the screen, throwing dirt in the shade. Clicks for the cash, no morals, no fate. The devil devil got a face and it's nasty Nate, spreading lies like a plague. Hides behind the screen, throwing dirt in the shade. Clicks for the cash, no morals, no fate. The devil got a face and it's nasty Nate.
They try to mock us, turn solidarity into a joke. But pink ain't weak. Pink mean power, justice for all.
We the pink monkey squad, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. For every tear that drop, we stand tall, we don't shrink. Voice for the silent now, truth louder than you think. Love over hate, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. Pink, for justice painted pink. For her, but painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here. Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here.
They type behind screens, try to twist the narrative. Mocking solidarity, but we stand imperative. A mother gone too soon, that pain hit different. Dropped a baby at school, now the world feel distant. This bigger than drama, bigger than clicks. This by the child who gotta grow up this. We ain't no game, we are moving the truth. When they spread lies, we respond with proof. Call us Pink Mafia, embrace that name. And pick me loyalty, then we claim that flame. We stand for a family, 10 toes deep. Why they chase attention, we don't lose sleep.
Pink Mafia squad, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. For every tear that drop, we stand tall, we don't shrink. Voice for the silent now, truth louder than you think. Love over hate, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, but she should still be here. Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, but she should still be here. Like the morning changed everything in the blink of an eye. She should be here watching the sun grow tall. Instead we fighting lies while they trolling us all. But we don't fold, we don't bow. Cyber bully energy can't break us down. We advocate strong, no violence in speech. Just justice, accountability, truth we preach. We ain't fueled by hate, we fueled by care. By the weight of a loss that ain't fair. Everybody life matter, that's the stance. We paint the city pink in remembrance and prayer. Pink for the love, pink for the pain, pink for the tears falling like rain. Pink for the mothers, pink for the child, pink for the silence that's speaking loud. We the pink monkey squad, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. For every tear that drop, we stand tall, we don't shrink. Voice for the silent now, truth louder than you think. Love over hate, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. Painted pink, the shades is painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here. Painted pink, the shades is painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here. She should still be here.
What's up? What's up? Y'all let me know how this mic, because I don't have my usual setup. I'm actually I got this set up in the front of my truck because I'm not gonna be on here long. And then I wanted to take advantage of the I got this set up in the front of my truck. Okay, it sounds good on my end. But I wanted to take advantage of the daylight since I'm not driving. I drove like last night, so I'm waiting on my next load. But I just wanted to go ahead and talk about this Holly Johnson situation about her potentially being released on pretrial restrictions. What's up, Ashley? What's up, KG? Terry in the building. Who else I saw in here? Angela. What's up? Thank you for the well wishes. And like I said, I ain't gonna keep y'all too long. Yeah, it's not gonna be too long. I'm probably gonna play a little bit of Uppers live, just a little bit, just give a commentary, and then let y'all go and enjoy the rest of y'all day. So, but I hope the audio as well. Please let me know if my audio is trash, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about that. I purposely cannot stand trash audio myself. I want to make sure I can put out as clear as I can, even though I'm out here with the trucks. I'm at the area where there's a lot of trucks at. And then I do have the windows down just to get some fresh air, because y'all know I have chopper in here, so I gotta keep fresh air circulating, right? Because it's in the closed space. So so what's up? What's up? So, but make sure y'all please hit that like button. All right, so please, all right, so let's go ahead and get into it. First off, justice for Romeka, and love and healing, love and healing energy towards Romeka's family. Y'all know we over here, we love the family to death. We support the family, and we just hoping that we have faith that the universe is going to get this one right, and Holly will be locked up. Right, we're not giving up hope. Like, it's nothing wrong with faith. I know majority of y'all are Christian believers. Y'all know I do not fuck with that religion. I'm an omnist, but I'm not going to sit up here and discourage anybody from believing in, asking for a little extra help, right? But I just want to encourage y'all to stay prayed up. Like, keep praying, stay encouraged. I For the young person who I got into it back and forth on Keys comment section, I really am not trying to be an asshole. I promise you I'm not. It's just sometimes when I see people say the same things, like we're living in the last days and all, I just, it's not you that I have an issue with, it's the belief system. And it's one of the things that it's just one of those statements that annoy me, because we've been living in the last days for 2,000 years, right? And it's unfortunately that a lot of believers don't know that due to indoctrination and fear mongering. But if you go read the Bible itself, those people thought he was coming back in their generations. They were living in the last days when they was up against Caesar and not Caesar, Nero and Nero, whatever his name is. If you read the book of Revelation, those people thought that stuff was going to happen in their lifetime, right? It's been 2,000 years, right? Unfortunately, bad ish happens, right? That's just part of the human experience, regardless of what religion you believe in. People are always going to find a way to unalive each other for, any senseless reason, as jealousy over a baby daddy, assurance money, game wars. Unfortunately, being a part of being human and living this human experience, there's just some people here on earth who just don't value life, right? And I'm one of those people. I value life, right? A complete empath, right? I can empathize and sympathize, right? I'm grateful that the universe has coded me to be that type of individual, because I kind of hold myself to a higher standard of what I believe is right ethically and morally. And then I kind of, encourage society to evolve and become more ethical and, get rid of some of our barbaric ways, right? So with that being said, what's up, Gossip and Giggles? Is she in here? I seen KG say, what's up? Did I miss you? Okay, there you go. What's up, Gossip and Giggles? Good morning. Now let me know if y'all gonna do y'all live too, so I can make sure I can try to catch y'all too. Listen to y'all while I'm driving. But hopefully, at the end of the day, this is how I truly feel about. I'm gonna first give my opinion about Holly supporters and what's going on for us with Nasty Nate or whatever. I'm just really I'm really disgusted by Holly supporters, and I'm sorry. And mind you, I am a person who believes in self-defense. Right? You have the right to preserve your life if someone is trying to take your life. You have the right to live. But in this situation with Holly and Romeka, Holly just was trying to get rid of Romeka. That girl was not in fear of her life, man. The facts are the facts. What we know. It was a senseless crime. It didn't have to happen. It was their first time meeting. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like anybody who supports Holly, first of all, I know majority of y'all are doing that because you really are cult followers of Nasty Nate. It's really y'all appealing to this woman's ego and not doing what's ethically and morally right. And in her situation, people like her and the other content creators that hop on her platform and support her BS, I notice, and this is my humble opinion, you agree with it or disagree with it, I'm just analyzing y'all behavior. I noticed that y'all some of the biggest cowards on YouTube in these YouTube streets. You know, that's one thing off top, right? And I was raised in the street. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't saying it's something that you should walk around with a badge of honor, but it do teach you some type of way to become street smarts or develop ethical standards, right? You know your environment is fucked up, and you either choose if you're going to be a part of the problem or you're going to be a part of the solution. Neil X chose to be a part of the solution, right? So honestly, I can tell that the people who low-key support Holly, when I analyze y'all behavior, y'all be the ones doing the most fucked up bullshit on the internet, right? I mean, just the nasty. I mean, I don't even want to go into details because it ain't even targeting one individual. I'm talking to all of y'all as a collective. Y'all be doing the most disgusting, disgraceful, like even down to Nasty Nate calling Romeka, pretending to call Romeka and mocking her because she was deceased and she couldn't answer the phone. It it seemed like the people who feel so safe behind the internet have the nerve to sit up here and just advocate for someone unaliving someone who clearly was not afraid of her attacker, because if she was, why would she approach her vehicle, right? Witnesses said they saw Romeka get in that car. So clearly Romeka wasn't trying to unalive her. She was on that time. Even if she was confronting her for the bullshit they've been going through, I mean, any person would be upset if you ran across a woman who was trying to get your child taken away and calling DCF on you. You know what I'm saying? But clearly you weren't too afraid of this girl if she got in the car and you went up to the car and started banging on her car, but you were afraid, right? People who can see the little details like that know that Holly is full of shit. And she did that because she didn't want to get her ass whooped, right? She knows she couldn't handle Romeka, right? She thought she had a insurance policy. With what she did have insurance policy. She had the CCW, carry concealed weapons insurance, right? She really thought she could outsmart the law, and it seemed like the law, letting her know, like, you think you might have tried to outsmart the system, but we on to you, and we know that you premeditated this shit, right? So but I just want to just go ahead and say that because I found out that they are celebrating as if this is like you would think. I would understand them celebrating if the charges were dropped, right, or dismissed without prejudice or with prejudice or whatever, something like that. You're celebrating someone who still has to fight for their life. Even if Holly gets out on pretrial release, right, because of Illinois no cash bond law, or I forgot the name of the law, the pretrial, whatever this law they have where murderers, unalivers can get out and fight their case, under certain restriction, under conditions. Usually they be on house arrest. They have to wear like an ankle monitor and has to report in to some type of officer, right, where they at, so usually they can't move freely, but they have they should still be in the comfort of their home. But unfortunately that state allows unalivers to be comfortable. And like some I'm trying to think who said it. I don't understand what y'all celebrating, because it's a potential release. She didn't get released, right? And even if she did get instantly released, she still has to fight for her life because the state ain't dismissing shit. And ain't no judge siding with them saying that they're going to dismiss her charges, because I know that, reading comprehension is not a very popular thing here in America. Statistics say that the average American only reads on a 6th grade level, right? I kind of agree with them ever since I met Nate and her supporters, right? And how they group think and they let Nate think for them and they can't think for themselves, right? Or they letting their biases about a damn saga about two black motherfuckers. I mean, let me stop. I'm trying not to curse. About two black people who don't give a damn about if they exist or not. Two black influencers who's just trying to make money off the internet. Chase a bag, and it ain't nothing wrong with that. At least they doing it the legal way, right? I'd rather them do it the legal way than to be out there selling drugs or robbing and scamming, right? So, I'm sorry, Chop. You okay, baby? Okay. But yeah, I just don't know what it is that they're celebrating. Like, it's I can't stand y'all. I really can't. Yeah, you guys annoy me because it's so wrong. right? It's so ethically, like, I mean, morally, even if you just, wanted to choose a side, like how you can literally sit up here and defend this or keep giving misinformation. The girl is not free. The judges did not say she was innocent, right? If you listen to Upper break it down, Big Keys break it down, and then I'm waiting for talk with Nikki. Y'all know I love me some talk with Nikki. I'm waiting for her to break it down too, because she likes to make her commentary funny, and she keeps it pretty. She articulate her points very well. I don't think they realizing that all three judges who oversaw this case, overlooked the details from the appellate court. They all agree that she killed old girl, like a vengeful. Like even the judges who said that she should be free, the two judges who said she should be out on pretrial, they stated that this was some retaliation, lovers quarrel, rivalry shit. They did not say she was innocent or they believe she was innocent. Now I know again, because America in this country, the average mother effer reads on the 6th grade level, and people lack reading comprehension skills. Even though I'm a little little side eye in the army, because I thought you had to be smart to get into the army. You know what I'm saying? And for somebody who was a veteran, who had a high ranking position, which she admitted that she didn't actually deserve something, she got it through empathy and petty. Somebody felt petty, felt sorry for her, so that she got it because somebody pitied her, not petty, but pity her, right? They can read a document and still twist what the hell that the judge is saying. These people let Holly go because they felt like the state did not prove that she was a danger, right? They did not say she didn't do it or the case is weak. That's not what they said. They said they felt like that the state hasn't met the burden of the truth, not the burden of certain standards of what they feel like deem someone being dangerous. Um, and let me see. I think I went to. Let me grab my notes real quick from Chat GPT. One second, y'all, because I'm trying not to keep y'all here too long. All right, the three things the state is looking for, they have to prove. Dang, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong folder. One second. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Okay, so here's are the three conditions. Everyone is, this is the Illinois law, right? Everyone is eligible for release unless the state proves a strong evidence of guilt, which we know they have, right? Because they 6 counts. A real danger to the public, and no conditions can control that danger, right? Where the state is, where the two judges that sided with Holly's defense, they basically saying that the state hasn't proved that Holly is dangerous to the public. Even though Judge Mitchell, right? Judge Mitchell was like, what the hell wrong with y'all? The girl did this in public, in the school zone, right? Which I agree with Judge Mitchell, like, she would resolve her conflict, number one, with violence, right? Number one. And number two, she did not care that she was letting off shots in the school zone. Didn't take that into consideration at all, right? But they was basically saying that the state didn't prove that Holly was dangerous. And then, it wasn't the final decision, but it was an applied reason why the state. They also mentioned her being pregnant. People, judges are humans too, right? Judges have kids. Judges, see things happen. It's, to me, I felt like the judges kind of gave in on a little, bias when it come down to a baby being born in jail. Like, who wants to know that a baby's been born in jail, or a mother, as soon as she gives birth to her child, that child is going to be taken away from that mother, right? Because not like she can take care of the baby in the jail cell. They're going to instantly take her away. So I think maybe some of that played into the part that, okay, she's not dangerous, right? And then we don't believe she's dangerous, right? The two judges said they don't believe she's dangerous. The state hasn't proved that, right? And that they just, took a consideration, and she's about to have a baby, right? If she's pregnant. Because I know there's a lot of information out about if Holly's pregnant or not. I have no idea, y'all. If that girl is pregnant, anything, y'all know how I am. I only report things that are factual. If I don't know, I'll say word on the curve or allegedly. I don't know her condition. I just know that when the defense first took on this case, they mentioned that she was pregnant, right? So that was the last I've heard about it. People saying that she terminated the pregnancy. Some people say she didn't. Some people say she looked pregnant. I don't know. But I feel like if it is true that let's just say if she did terminate the pregnancy, I really think that the state going to try to come back and wait a minute now, y'all mentioned this. Now this probably wasn't the deciding factor of why y'all saying this girl should be out on release, but if she's not pregnant and we're telling y'all that this girl will get into an argument with somebody and not consider her environment and let off some shots because she got a concealed carry license, she's dangerous, right? So I really think if it's true that if Kylie really did terminate her pregnancy, I think they might reconsider it. So thank you for the $5 gossip and giggle. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. You said support who you made, but the test for Romeka is sick. Well, I feel you on that, Ashley. Sis, I feel you on that. But over here, sis, I have a no tolerance stance. I think there's a difference between opinions versus choosing things ethically or morally. Like I'm gonna judge you on how ethical you are, right? And that's how I actually determine how dangerous you are. I feel like people who lack empathy are the most dangerous people on earth, right? Me personally, I think narcissistic people are right, or it's only about 1 or 2 levels below psychopath, right? Because after psychopath is the sociopath. I think the narcissistic people are the third most dangerous people in the world, right? I feel like we can have a difference of opinion based off of which soda brand is better, Coke or Pepsi, right? Or what's better toppings on a pizza, meat lovers or pineapples, right? Those are difference of opinions based off of personal preference. But when it comes down to did somebody cause harm to another individual, I have no tolerance, right? For anyone who cannot see harm being caused due to their own personal biases. And we know that and the reason why Nasty Nate is the face of Holly's brand is because Nasty Nate has a cult following of women who support Brianna, right? So we know, like, it's not because these women are judging this because they ethically think that Holly had no choice. They're making their decision based because they trying to please their cult leader, and they have an unnatural and an unhealthy parasocial connection with Nasty Nate, right? It didn't take me long to see Nasty Nate's true colors. That's why I left. I didn't get kicked out. Nasty Nate ain't just have to lie on me for me to leave. I left because I was like, yeah, I can't rock with somebody like this. This woman is very narcissistic. I believe she's narcissistic. I can't diagnose her, but she has a lot of narcissistic traits. And I believe narcissistic people are dangerous. That's why I advocate against them. And I speak out and tell people, hey, this is what type of time I believe this person is on. So it's called protecting the community, right? But unfortunately, the truth also is on the other side that there's not a lot of people outraged enough to help take down this giant. I decided to do it behind the scenes. Like, I know she was bragging and telling everybody how she stopped me from making videos about her. Ashley, you didn't stop me. I chose to, right? Because I realized that there was a more effective way of going after you than to make videos. I realized that the more I give you attention, the more those girls gave you money. So I'm not going to be a part of helping you helping get helping you gain financially through your unethical practices, right? I'm not going to be that motivation. If other people want to come after you, that's their personal um reason. I mean, they got their own personal tensions with you. I just said I'm not going to help put money in your pocket. So it's no point of me beefing with you or making videos about you or giving you so much attention, because I know you're flipping it and reversing it and you're manipulating those women to squeeze every little dime you can get out of them by saying that, look, they're attacking me, right? I just said I'm going to deal with you privately outside the scene, but you ain't never strike none of them other videos again, because there was other videos you could have struck. You didn't strike them because you knew that YouTube was on your ass. And I hope that Jenny let them know that this is not the first time you have done this, and that you are abusing a copyright system, and they supposed to terminate your page once you get caught doing this. So hopefully Jenny complaint goes through, right? But I just decided to fight that lady back. I kind of made my last video even saying I'm fighting her behind the scenes. I'm not giving her no more attention for as making her a topic of my content, right? So she didn't stop a damn thing. She actually motivated me. I just realized that it's not enough people willing to come together to take her down, and people have their different reasons. A lot of people making money off of her name. You get what I'm saying? Just like she make money off of other people's name, right? A lot of people just using each other. They really not. They really not on that, y'all. If that makes sense. These people really ain't out here advocating and really trying to fight for the. They're doing it for their own financial gain of trying to make money on YouTube, right? Some people don't have a problem with it. Some people do. I chose to not. Y'all see, I went back to my content. I'm over here telling y'all that the Bible's bullshit, right? So, because I'm not gonna abuse my platform. I feel like the universe put me in the position that I am, and I am supposed to be out here, planting seeds and waking up people. I'm not supposed to be out here financially gaining off of what I like to call beef tube. I'm not gonna get money off of arguing and tearing down other black people. I'm just not doing that, y'all. So, but but again, just to go back to what Ashley's comment is, I feel what you're saying, sis. I just feel like those are two separate things. Difference of opinion. Hey, what's your favorite color, right? That's personal preference. But if somebody committed cold-blooded unaliving, and you trying to excuse that by listening to a YouTuber who's been wrong on everything she's reported about this case, if you want to reduce your opinion based off because you like someone, then I just think you're a fucked up individual, and then you're a coward. You get what I'm saying? Because you can't think for yourself. Because I don't know anybody who's team Romeka who still supports Nasty Nate. Everybody, it seems like all her supporters are team Holly. So, but I'm just finna go through these comments real quick, y'all. Yeah, she sure did engage in the back and forth. Now why we know it's full of shit. Gossip and Giggle said it was a setup from the start. Honey said exactly. What's up, honey? Honey bear. Honey said, it's not over. It's not over. That's why I don't understand what's they celebrating. What y'all think is Monopoly? You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's why I put the thumbnail and I put the art of Holly, with the get out of jail free card. Like, I was like, what they think we playing Monopoly? Man, this is real life. That girl still has to prove her innocence. The state has to prove that she is guilty of sin. Okay, it might be a victory that she might get go home and be around her family and breathe the AC air instead of the jail air, and not eat bologna sandwiches, but will eat whatever sandwich they bring to the home. She still is facing a long time in prison, right? None of those judges even none of them even gave a inkling that they think that this might have been self-defense. It seemed like all three judges agree that this was some rivalry shit. I don't know why the Holly supporters are ignoring that part. They just said, hey, the state has not met the conditions of keeping her contained, right? Detained, not contained, detained, right? They just not have, they didn't meet that burden of proof yet. But they never said, when this evidence is weak or circumstantial or nothing, like, they ain't say that. They all saying this some rivalry shit. Come on now. Like, these people ain't dumb. These judges are very educated, right? They wasn't born yesterday. They go through a lot to get in the position that they get to, and their job is to fairly distribute in the law and judge the law based off how it's written, right? Sometimes they get it wrong, sometimes they get it right. And everybody knows majority does not mean that that was the correct outcome. As you can see, it was 2-1. It wasn't a clean sweep. Like I said, they didn't get a clean, how they didn't get an unanimous decision. It was 2-1. But sometimes that one voice, it will be the voice of reasoning. And the other two people, you know, I just feel like, I really think highly pregnancy played into their decision more. I really think it was more of that, because, you know, them people probably are parents themselves, right? So it's weird how she wants to go to the school the whole time. She still went to the school to be on fuck stuff with Romeka. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Gossip Eagle said, "Stop speaking out my head." But yeah, I can't fuck with nobody who support Holly. I don't care if I like. I don't. You remember I told you I drew an ethical line. Over here, I do not support people who fuck with who support Israel and what they're doing. Right? If you support Israel and they bullshit, I don't hate the Jews or nothing. I ain't no anti-Semitic stuff. I just don't support what the hell they doing, because I know they're committing genocide. Right? If you support Israel, I can't fuck with you like that, right? If you support Trump, if you're a Trump supporter, do not even waste your time trying to be cool with me. We can be cordial, right? I have to respect that that's what you type of time you're on, but we ain't gonna be cool. You get what I'm saying? And I'm judging you, right? And then I also put an ethical line if Holly supporters. It ain't no excuse. Y'all know that girl guilty of sin. Y'all know she is. So, because I'm telling y'all, I would be singing a different tune if the situation happened that Romeka like attacked that girl and was beating the shit out of her, and Holly pulled that gun while she was getting her ass whooped, right? But if it's true, the narrative that the state is saying happened, like whatever altercation they had, Holly went and got that gun after that fight had happened, went to go get her gun, then shot at Romeka, she going to jail. If it's true, I really think the jury, if they take in consideration that Romeka was in the car and Holly provoked her to get out, or that Holly shot at her after the physical fight, bruh, hey, she going to jail. That wasn't self-defense. Yeah, that too. That's why I said, y'all remember that you remember when I first covered this case, right? And when I was making that video telling Miss Tina to keep fighting for her baby, you like, don't give up, even though these people have not arrested Holly, we know what she did. Y'all remember when I made that video telling that lady to fight for her baby? I mentioned that, right? And y'all remember the Holly supporters was coming for me, was like, Neo really stuck on that Facebook post. I said, well, it kind of reveals the type of time that she would be on. Now, as much as I don't made some questionable comments, right? If somebody was to use my comments from the past and say Neo was on that type of time, I couldn't say, well, I wasn't, because I put it out there, right? So people have the right to judge me on what I've posted. Now, I can reassure them and let them know what the facts were. Like, I probably was emotional. I was triggered. I have anxiety, whatever. But people were clowning me when I kept saying, y'all know the girl made a post saying, sometimes you got to start on the live and mother effers. That's premeditation, right? She didn't say, if somebody put their hands on me, I'm taking them out, popping your ass like a bowling ball, right? She ain't saying that. She just said, sometimes you got to start on the live. We ain't have unalive and mother effers. We ain't get no context behind that. We don't know who she was talking about. It sounded like to me she was plotting premeditation. And I think my heart, my gut, my woman's intuition, right, and my common sense intuition is telling me that Holly premeditated this shit all the way down to when she was trying to get the TPO, right? When she even got the license, she knew she was gonna use that weapon against Romeka, because she knew she couldn't really fight her. You know what I'm saying? She knew about Romeka's reputation, and Romeka you had them thunder hands, right? So I think she was always low key afraid of an ass whooping, not afraid of Holly taking her. I mean, of Romeka taking her life, but a good old fashioned ass whooping, right? And it's crazy. Like I said, the women who do the most provoking, the most shit talking, the most disrespectful shit, why do they be so afraid when somebody want to put their hands on their ass because you fucking with them? Right? That's why I kept saying a lot of Holly supporters, just think about, I'm talking about the content creators, like the ones who they do the most sickening shit on the internet, but then want to holler and cry if somebody get on the internet and say, I will beat your ass. Right? Just like when they kept saying that about me when I told old girl, I will fuck you up. You keep mocking me about this rape shit. Okay? You keep it up. Because you know I want to unalive the man who did this. I almost took his life. Right? You keep messing with me, I'm going to fuck you up. I'm just going to have to do the time. I do the jail math in my head all the time to see if it's worth it. Now, as I calculate, I realize it ain't worth it because, again, I'm the world's greatest auntie. And then I got shit to lose. I got a business now. Right? But sometimes when people mental health is compromised, they don't think straight. That's why I try to take care of my shit over here, right? But it's just crazy to me. People who talk the most shit on the internet, the most loudest, most disrespected, the most ignorant, they be the first one to cry when somebody want to reach out and touch their ass. You know? And that's what type of time Holly was on. Holly was, Romeka wasn't arguing by herself. Holly was actually on, provoking that girl too. So if y'all want, I don't know who, go ahead and block. I don't know if anybody moderators in here. I'm not gonna read their comment, but I see somebody in here talking shit. I'm not gonna address them. Just go ahead and block whoever that is. So you said that little boy you said that little boy just stuck Jeannie. That little boy just struck Jeannie Romeka video today again, and Jeannie has a lawyer. Hey, once that lawyer get involved though, that's gonna probably make YouTube shake. Because I definitely kept telling YouTube, not telling y'all what all I did, but I know that I had legal grounds to come after her because now she's fucking with the revenue of my channel, and that's where she don't realize that that's why YouTube is actually gonna take her shit if she keep it up, because you're messing with people's income now. So and then that a lot of people don't notice, for those who all keep running to copyright and strike people all the damn time, that is a legal government document. If you lie on that piece of paper, you are committing perjury. Right? You cannot strike somebody because you don't like them. If the person used your content legally for what's the word I'm looking for, that falls under fair use, because a lot of people don't realize criticism is under fair use. You can't, you can probably try to fight and say that they was fucking with your brand. But if majority of their content was their content and not your content, you're not going to win that. You're not going to win that. So the best you can do is pretend if somebody made an AI photo of you doing something and have you in a compromised situation. But if somebody play your voice, like for instance, when Nasty Nate kept striking my page for playing the audio of her mocking Romeka, that felt on the fair use, because majority of my my live was me criticizing her bad behavior. I have a legal right, a right and free speech right, being American, to criticize Nasty Nate, right? But she liked to play dirty. So, and I'm telling y'all, the reason why YouTube be dragging their feet when it come down to people who bring in a lot of revenue like Nasty Nate is because it's the money, right? That's why it took them so long to take down Fresh and Fit and Young Pharaoh and Tommy Sotomayor and a few white YouTubers. That's why I be taking them so long and sometimes years. Right? YouTube don't be want to give up that money. You don't stop that money. She gets a lot of she's helping YouTube make a lot of money, especially through their membership. That's why they drag their feet coming after her. But eventually, once somebody threatened to sue them for not holding up their own community clauses rules, they gonna side with the person who's getting ready to sue their ass. Now they ain't gonna side with the person making the money. Yeah, they'll just charge it to the game. So Ashley said the tongue is a powerful thing, and with that being said, one better pray this doesn't hit their front door. No exceptions. Yeah, sometimes people ain't gonna get it in until they put themselves in other people's shoes. Every time Ashley said, every time I see Romeka's son Amir go to visit his mommy, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart too. That's why I had to stop, and I stopped posting them because Miss Tina asked people to stop posting the grandbaby. So I don't post him no more. But he a little cute, little handsome little baby. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that baby. You know, I believe honestly, I believe that baby is surrounded by love, right? And I hope that that whatever opportunities that young baby want to grow up to be, I hope that he used the pain that he went through as a child to make the world a better place. You know, it'll be great if we find out in the future that he gets involved in politics, right? To make the streets of Chicago safer, right? So I hope he does take that pain and don't live a life of resentment, but live the rest of his life trying to make the world a better place because he knew what he went through when he lost his mom. I know. She said, "Wow, Neil, you in my head today." Well, we all on the same frequency. If she get released, it's just to get her affairs in orders because her and her forehead headed to prison for a very long time. She better get her money back from Raphael while she out. Who's that? I don't know about that, sis. I thought I saw a post about a bath. I was confused. I said somebody calling somebody phone. I don't get the bath thing. I might have missed that. Y'all know I don't watch a lot of stuff. So some of the jokes, if I don't get it, it's not because you ain't funny. It's just I don't know what you're talking about. So, but did y'all get that one person out who was trolling? Let me go see. Wait, why did y'all block Honey? Honey was trolling? I hold on. What happened with Honey? Honey is somebody who support me. What happened with her? Anybody want to tell me what happened? Yeah, why yeah, tell me what's going on. Why Honey comments got blocked? Why is she getting blocked? Yeah, I just look. I now unless the other person is trolling from another page. Let me go to my backup page real quick. But that Honey wasn't who I was talking about when I said the person was trolling. That's not who I was talking about. Cause sometimes y'all can't see the comment when they be on the backup channel on trolling, and I'll just go over there and block. All right, so they ain't on the backup channel. Yeah, but why did y'all block why is Honey comments getting blocked? What happened? Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody. Yeah, one of the moderators, yeah, one of y'all block Honey. I'm trying to see what happened. Please let me know. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit of Linda Davis said, "What happened to Jeannie's?" On Nasty Nate over there doing false copyrights. Yeah, that's what she's doing. She just, I mean, it's the same thing, and and it's not because she's going to um, take Jeannie to court. We know she's not going to take her to court, right? Because Jeannie can countersue her, um, but for lost wages, because clearly it's covered under fair use. She does that, y'all, to stop you from gaining that revenue, that potential growth. Okay, you said KG said I did Neo. You also you. All right, so why you block Honey? What happened, sis? I thought Honey is a supporter. If it's the right girl I'm talking about, she real cool. Like, what happened? Let me know what happened, sis. But but that's not who I was talking about when I say block the troll. That's not who I was talking. It was somebody else trolling. It was, let me see if they comment still showing on the EV Mux. It was whoever whoever this is, that's who I was saying block. This person was, trying to troll. I'm not finna get no attention. So I was talking about that person, whoever that is. So I don't know. I don't see them in the backup channel. But why did Honey get blocked? Yeah, but I don't think she was talking to me. I think she was talking to the other person. I think she was talking to the person who was talking shit, because that person made a comment about taking a bath. Yeah, I don't think she was. You said read my comment. No, KG, I wasn't talking about her. Oh, dang. No, Honey was, I think she was responding to the person who was trolling me, who was talking about um whatever they said about, they was cursing at me and saying little slit shit and talking about baths and shit. But I thought she was responding to them. I ain't see her say nothing crazy to me. But if you can, unless I missed something, if you want to screenshot some stuff and send it to me, but I don't think she was talking to me, sis. It was that other person who was nah, I wasn't talking about Honey. I was talking about that other person. Whoever they was, they probably just got y'all blocked. So, but yeah, you can unblock her. I don't know what you did. You time her out, um, or whatever. But you can unblock her. I don't think she was talking to me. It was another person in here trolling. As you said, she can come back. Okay. Yeah. Unless I missed something, but I was glancing back and forth, but I didn't see her say anything about me. I was talking about the other person, but y'all couldn't see them. So maybe next time I'll make sure I say the name. I'll make sure I say the name. Honey, if you still in here, I don't know if you still in here, but I wasn't talking about you. I thought you was responding to the other person. Linda Davis says, "Wow, NN is such a coward. She does it. She does it so her greedy ass don't lose supporters, or but she can talk about everybody else. She can be talked about as well. It's called freedom of speech." And y'all, AKG sis, I know it's in the comment. I seen Honey's comment about take a bath. I don't think she was talking to me. I think she was talking to the other person who was trolling, right? I like the other person made a comment about a bath. The person who was trolling made a comment about a bath, and I thought she was responding to them, telling them to take a bath, right? And whoever this person was, they was selling you out too. Like, let me see if I can find another comment. Like this person, like this who I think she was talking to, whoever that is, right? Like you see how whoever it is, Thomas, you say she wasn't getting out. Now that sound like old girl, the other content creator who who kissing they ass. That sound like something she'll say, but the people don't realize Holly is not out yet. She has the potential of getting out. There's still the state can still appeal, or the circuit court can challenge, right? But I think she was talking to that person. Like you see this, like you see the weird that like they was saying stuff like whoever this was saying stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? So you say it was a mistake for sure. Okay, so yeah, that's why I figured that what was going on. Cause that's why I was like, why is Honey getting blocked? You know what I'm saying? But it says she was unhidden, so I don't know if she's still in here watching or not. But my bad. Next time I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the fault on that one. Next time I make sure I say a name. I didn't realize y'all couldn't see the other person, so it's because Gossip of Giggles already unblocked her. She already unblocked her. All right, y'all. Look, we're not taking no mess for these weirdos. Yeah. So, all right. So again, honey, we apologize. That was my fault. All right. So, I'm gonna play a little bit. I just want to play a little bit of Uppers live, and then I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all go. Um, I'm just gonna play a little bit. Because, like I said, I don't know if these people think we playing Monopoly, because you remember they thought Holly was gonna get out over some damn headphones, right? You remember when they all was cashing all, putting all they chips, you know, cashing all they chips in. They thought, okay, Holly, honey said I was talking about her. That's what I was saying. Like that was my fault, honey. I should have told them exactly who, the name of the person. But that's why I kept saying I don't think you was talking about talking to me. So, but I actually had a nice you ever had to like you ever took like a shower that like you knew you didn't want to get out the shower? Like I don't know if y'all can see my skin is glowing a little bit, because after I got out of the shower, I moisturized my whole body with some African shea butter, because I knew I was gonna be in somewhere warm and all that stuff. And I was just sitting up here rubbing my skin. Like they told us to take a bath. I was sitting up here like, bitch, that bitch took a bath last night, and the reason why my skin's shiny right now, because I shave. I mean, not shave. I just lathered my whole body, moisturized my whole body with shea butter. It's feeling good. It feel good on my skin. So, but child, I bet you, I take baths and I brush my teeth. That's why my gun ain't black. You see me? I'm saying? I ain't got black on. Oh, a bitch washes her ass and I brushes my teeth. Okay, it's called hygiene. Okay, okay. All right. Let me get the uppers live real quick. And again, shout out the Upper, shout out the Big Keys, and shout out to Nikki. Y'all doing a good job, like really keeping us in the loop. So, and then we gonna keep fighting. Like, even if she do get out, man, I believe the jury, if she get in front of a jury of her peers, if she get in front of them and they realize like what we realized, that she shot Romeka after the fight, oh, she going to jail, man. She going to jail.
That after Miss Blackman got out of the headlock, she rushed to Miss Blackman, sent threatening messages to others, including Miss for pew pew.
My bad, y'all. I forgot to put the timestamp. I'm trying to get to the part where Upper reads the court manuscripts or transcripts of what the judge who said no, why he feel like she shouldn't get let out.
Choose to be anonymous. Nobody wants for pretrial release. To overcome this presumption, the state must seek pretrial detention by filing a timely verified petition. Only pose a threat to that child, meaning that reading, but for the people that just came in the room, I just want to let you know that when I initially went live, I kicked this live off with y'all got to slow down. The Holly Delus got too much dip on their chip. Just because the appellate court put in this or came to this conclusion, to this decision to send it back to the circuit court to reconsider her release, basically saying that you need to find or determine what conditions you all need to put in place for her to be released. That does not mean that she is being released today. It doesn't mean that the state is not going to respond. Is it likely? Not really, but
all right. Can y'all hear Uppers? Me playing Uppers live. Yeah, I discovered that people was doing that because one time, y'all, just a quick story time. One time I was on Jenny's live because y'all know how I feel about some of Jenny's supporters. It's no secret that a lot of Jenny supporters don't like me. Now Jenny likes me. I like Jenny, but a lot of her supporters don't like me because I don't fuck with the Bible. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. But one time that happened to me where her moderators thought I was in there, bitch, just like arguing to myself and like doing the most and trying to start some shit, and I was arguing with somebody who was talking shit to me, but the moderators could see my comments, but they couldn't see the person who I was talking shit to because that person blocked, right? And it made it look like I was being crazy and unhinged. So I really wish it was a way that you can't block. You two need to find a way that you can't block moderators in real time during a live, that if a person is actively moderating during a live, that you can't block them, but I remember that they people find a way to it's loopholes around anything, but I remember when that shit first happened to me, because I said, damn, I ain't never think of that, like block the moderator. You got to be a complete asshole to think of some shit like that. Like, I'm gonna block the moderator so I can talk shit and nobody can block me. You two gonna have to find a way to fix that. You say yes, we can hear. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that y'all can hear. All right.
can it happen? Yes, the state can still respond. The state can challenge this decision. The state can still say, no, I want to put in a motion for a stay for Quadesia Johnson, a stay, S-T-A-Y, for Quadesia Johnson. I want to challenge that decision. And they can challenge that decision. Just because this is what the appellate court decided does not mean that the state cannot request a stay.
Oh, so when I did some research, I did see something that was a little discouraging, but you still have hope. 10%. I seen where it's 90% of the time, when the prosecutor, when the state challenge appellate court decision, 90% of the time, it doesn't get overturned. Like, it's only 10%. So we hoping that the state can, the probability is 10% that the state can get this turned over. So it's still some hope. It ain't 100%, but 90% of the time the circuit court just goes with whatever the appellate court says. So is they only have a 10% appeal appeal reverser. So I was like, oh, those are not good odds at all. Right. But hold on, y'all. I forgot to plug in my laptop. I'll be right back. Let me grab my cord. Hold on.
They try to mock us, turn solidarity into a joke. But pink ain't weak. Pink mean power, justice for all.
We the pink monkey squad, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. For every tear that drop, we stand tall, we don't shrink. Voice for the silent now, truth louder than you think. Love over hate, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. Pink, for justice painted pink. For her, the painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here. Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here.
They type behind screens, try to twist the narrative. Mocking solidarity, but we stand imperative. A mother gone too soon, that pain hit different. Dropped a baby at school, now the world feel distant. This bigger than drama, bigger than clicks. This by the child who gotta grow up this. We ain't no game, we are moving the truth. When they spread lies, we respond with proof. Call us Pink Mafia, embrace that name. And pick me loyalty, then we claim that flame. We stand for our family, 10 toes deep. Why they chase attention, we don't lose sleep.
Pink Mafia squad, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. For every tear that drop, we stand tall, we don't shrink. Voice for the silent now, truth louder than you think. Love over hate, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink.
Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here. Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here.
Like the morning changed everything in the blink of an eye. She should be here watching the sun grow tall. Instead we fighting lies.
My bad, folks. My bad, folks. I was like, damn, I forgot to plug my laptop. That be about to die. All right, so let me get into Uppers Live real quick. I'm trying to play the part where I should have wrote the concept down. I don't forgot. Trying to play the part where she talked about where the judges disagree with each other.
The circuit court didn't follow procedure, it can still be challenged, and I'm waiting to see if it's going to be. So, People versus McDonald. Defendant accused of shaking his commitment. Those two women. The fact that Ms. Johnson sought and received a no contact order against Ms. Blackman underscores the isolated nature of this.
Okay, I think this is the round part.
Provides strong evidence that the defendant presents a danger to the community or to other specific people. In a case involving an unaliving incidental to a violent crime, gang activity, DV, a mental health crisis, or a random act, it is relatively straightforward line from the state's proffer of the expected trial evidence to a showing that the defendant is a danger to the community. However, this case is different because the alleged crime grows directly out of the relationship between those two women. The fact that Ms. Johnson sought and received a no contact order against Ms. Blackman underscores the isolated nature of this conflict. Also, in this case, the fact that this defendant had a history of adhering to all legal requirements, and the fact that there is nothing.
Real quick. Now, I'm just going to say this. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm finna apologize. I apologize. Now, Miss Eugenia Williams, I personally don't hope I'm not confusing you with somebody else, but it's somewhere in my damn notes or whatever. I ain't finna be on no negativity. Actually, I don't actually have a personal problem with you or anything like that. But aren't you the lady who called me a narcissistic, a covert narcissic on over there on the Evil Twin page? Nasty Nate's Evil Twin. Like, people have their right to form their opinion, but if it was you, I'm gonna ask that you reconsider your opinion about me, being that I've been diagnosed with my mental health issues and narcissistic, covert narcissistic. I didn't even score at all on the narcissistic traits, right? I didn't even come close. I've only been diagnosed with, ma'am, anxiety, depression, and PTSD. Those are the mental health issues I have, my challenges. The most common ones in America. And mine is rooted to my sexual assault that happened to me at the age of 4. That started at the age of 4. So if you wasn't the one who said that, then I apologize. But I usually don't forget when people say something crazy about me. Like, I get that I might not be your favorite content creator or influencer because you know me and you disagree about the Bible. But I really hope in the future that's where it can personally stay between me and you, because I don't have a problem with you as an individual, as a human being. My problem is with the belief. My beef is with the religion, not you as a person. Just like I once was a believer because I was convinced. I understand why people choose to believe. I'm just no longer convinced. But to call me a narcissist, I think is a reaching a little bit, right? What me and Evil Twin went through, it is what it is, right? But I'm just trying to see, because you haven't been over here in a minute, and I kind of was like, "Are you the lady who called me a narcissist?" Like, because I want you to reconsider it, because there's nothing narcissistic about me. I'm actually everything opposite of a narcissistic person. I can actually self-reflect. I can get up here and tell people when I've been wrong. I have been wrong before, right? And I apologize and self-reflect. That's why I try to turn a new leaf. And each day I challenge myself to be a better version of myself. I don't excuse my bad behaviors, right? Now, I'm pretty good at, for us ethically, keeping that under control. But when I say bad behavior, I'm talking about like maybe cursing somebody out. That's what I mean. That's further as I'm going to go with my bad behavior, you know? But I just wanted to know, was it you? Because I appreciate if you not call me that, because it's not true. Now, if you want to call me a heathen, blasphemer, because y'all tend to use that word a lot, I got, if you feel like that's what I'm doing when it comes out of your religion, it is what it is, right? But I'm not a narcissist. You said drop the link. Okay, I dropped the link, no problem. No problem, ma'am. Hey, why it's not letting me copy? All right, give me a second. I'm on my YouTube. All right, and mind you, Eugenia, this is not StreamYard. I'm using a service called EV Mux, so you might have to give your mic permission to come up here. You said you're going in, but you're not reading my posts. Oh, because I can't really see them because I'm on my laptop and it's small. So I wasn't even looking at the comment section. But I dropped the link. But I just wanted to say, I just wanted to, like I said, it ain't nothing personal against you. Like, I ain't gonna sit up and make, come attack you. It's just when I kind of seen that, I was like, damn, a narcissist. Like, I can see them saying blasphemer, but we ain't gonna go there with the narcissist. I ain't really appreciate that comment. So, but yeah, if you wanna go ahead and hit the link. Because I know she said I did. So okay, I'm just sorry. I'm just catching up with the comments. I know she don't fuck with Nate. I mean, you got to be a wicked motherfucker to fuck with Nate. I ain't trying to be funny. You got to be like, cause I get it. People, I'm telling you, I know why I'm not someone's favorite crayon to color with. Right? I will, if like, let's keep it. Let me show you how real I could be. If I was still as religious as I used to be 6, 7 years ago, I would not fuck with me. You get what I'm saying? On how strongly. So I get it. It's just I just wanted to let her know that I take mental health very serious, right? I think people throw around throw that word narcissistic or narcissist around, and it's one of the most misused mental health diagnosis that I think people really don't know exactly what it is. It's a very dangerous trait, right? And that's why I said they only 2 levels away from being like a psychopath. Like the most dangerous person in the world is a psychopath. Right after that is sociopath, and then right after sociopath are narcissistic people. And there's nothing dangerous about me. Only people who should feel like they're shouldn't feel unsafe around me is people who's trying to harm me. You feel what I'm saying? But if you're not trying to harm me, you're very much safe, right? So you said it won't let you. Dang. Oh dang. My bad. I don't even know how to tell you. Oh, it say it really won't let me up. Well, we can go ahead and move on past it. Like I ain't even gonna like cry me a river about it. It's just one of those things. I know that deep rooted, I don't really think you think I'm a narcissist. I think you just don't like me because I don't fuck with your religion. Like me and you don't have back and forth about it, right? And I just think that's unfair. I really just think that's unfair because there's nothing that you can say that I did that would point to anything narcissistic. And if you can, please just name one thing that I do that is under like somebody being like a narcissistic trait. I want to just challenge you on that, just right off top. One thing that I do that you would think is narcissistic. And a lacking belief in God or a lacking of belief in your God, that's not narcissistic at all. In that case, it's it's if you believe that, then it's 6 billion other people on this planet who are narcissistic if you think it's shaped around someone's personal belief, right? It's how they treat each other, you know. But I don't know why I won't let you. I really wish, because I'm a type of person, I'll talk it out. I'll talk it out. But I don't want you to think I hate you or anything like that. It's just when I seen it, I was like, well, damn. Like the last person who called me a narcissist had to apologize. Well, the last 2 people who called me a narcissist, for some reason, later on down the line, I got apologies from these people. Because it's really because they was just in their feelings. But narcissistic people are very dangerous, and y'all should not you shouldn't take it you should be very weary of them. That's why like Nate can have as much power as she has, right? They're very dangerous, very manipulative type people. You got to be careful. So if I promise you, Eugene, if I was a narc, I promise you, I would feed into the religious psychosis if I was a narc, because I know I can make buku money pretending that I believe in God. People do that to y'all all the time. They put a little scripture in it, and y'all sow into their ministry. If I was narcissistic, I would manipulate people for my financial gain. Ma'am, I'm telling y'all, I don't believe in your fucking religion. That should be. I'm not even manipulating or faking it, because look how well I know the Bible. I could lie and fake it and could have been banking. I would have been making more money than Nasty Nate. I used to really know how to preach that Bible now. But I'm so real. I'm too true to myself. That's, so. But I'm gonna go ahead and let it go, Eugene. If you can't get up here, but like I said, if you could just name one thing I did that was narcissistic, I would just like to challenge that right now. Okay, all right, moving on. Going back to the content. All right, I'm just telling y'all, and I'm telling y'all, things don't usually get to me at all. Like I don't been called worse, right? I just don't like a blatant lie though. You feel what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't even been pissed if you be like Neo's crazy. Mind you, how many people say I'm crazy and I don't respond to them? I'm okay with you even saying I'm crazy, right? Because I gave y'all a reason to think that I don't crashed out on this internet a few times. So I'm not even mad that some of y'all low key think that. Now I think some of y'all crazy too, just nuts. Right? We both got opinions, right? I think religious psychosis is a real thing, right? Cognitive dissonance, well, if I'm saying that word, cognitive dissonance is a real thing, right? So I think some of y'all are crazy, right? But the narc thing, I was like, I can't let y'all put that one. 'Cause those people are dangerous. They dangerous. There's nothing dangerous about me. I'm so honest. People know they can be safe. They're safe around me, right?
In her background to suggest any propensity for violent, abusive, or assaultive behavior, undermine any claim that her release would pose a threat to others. So to sum it up, this is saying in so many words that because she's never had an incident before this, she's never proven to be a violent individual before this incident with this person, because she's shown to adhere to the law in the past, she remained at the scene of the crime and waited for the police after the unaliving, and due to the fact that she sought a stalking no contact order, regardless of the fact of whether or not it was issued to Romeka, these are things that they're considering as to why they do not believe that the state has proven that she's a threat to the community.
Miss Eugenia, I'm gonna go ahead and move forward and go on with the show. Now I'm a little confused because when I went through the comment section, I thought you said you were the one who called me a narcissist. So just we can clear it up right now because I apologize. I will apologize if you did not say that. Now I ain't gonna lie. When I go get my receipts, and if I see that it was you, I ain't gonna. I might drag you a little bit just for coming up here lying. Now I promise you, if you did not say that, I will sincerely apologize to you right now. Right? I will apologize just real quick because maybe I missed some of your comments because I can't really see it. But now I'm looking at the comment section. Just let me know right now. Are you the one who said that I'm a covert narcissist or whatever you called me? But it had the word narcissist attached to it. Did you say that about me or not? If you didn't say that, I will apologize. And if you did, I would like you to give me an example of what what have I done on the internet that you can connect to narcissistic um personality disorder. Just curious, you know. Yeah, if you just real quick, I promise I gotta move on with the show because I don't want to stay on it too long. It just when I seen that, I was like, ain't that the lady? So I just need to know, are you the one who called me a narcissist or not? Yes or no?
It goes on to say, we look next at the history and characteristics of Ms. Johnson herself. Her only criminal history is for a nonviolent misdemeanor. The state presented no evidence to suggest that Ms. Johnson has a mental health history or social history that reflects a danger to the community. Ms. Johnson's physical condition is that she is pregnant. While her pregnancy certainly does not preclude violent actions on her part, its progression may well limit her ability to engage in them. So let's do this one by one. So the first portion here, that the two.
All right, I'm just reading the part where I just want y'all to see what the two judges said. Then I'm trying to get to the part where the one judge disagreed. And I'm going to end this live, y'all.
Judges, these are what the two judges are saying. There's one judge that doesn't agree. But these two judges are saying because she's never shown a violent act before this, she remained at the scene of the crime, and because...
All right. All right, so you said, no, I did not. So, Miss Eugenia, for the sake of your word, taking your word right now, I'm going to apologize, okay, for assuming that you were the lady who called me a narcissist. Now, I'm telling you right now, I just can't because it's in my other phone. But I'm going to go look at the screenshot and see if it was you, ma'am. And if it was you, I ain't going to let you slide on that one. You know what I'm saying? But if you said it wasn't you, then I apologize from the bottom of my heart. Okay. I can't stop people from lying on me, that's just something people gonna do. People gonna lie, right? People sit up there and listen to Evil Twin tell a bunch of lies about me that wasn't true, right? And I saw while I was being dragged, right? Even though I didn't watch her video, I didn't remember. I keep telling you I don't. I put it on mute, and I wanted to see because I got wind of somebody who supposed to be cool with me was over there saying some stuff, but then I had to let the person know that that was not somebody who I'm cool with, who was saying some stuff. And I could have swore I saw you in there, you know, egging her on, doing everything outside of Christianity, right? None of y'all was in there praying for me. Y'all was in there cyberbullying me with her, right? Because we're mad at each other, right? But notice how my audience is a little different. The people, most of my audience, my supporters are non-believers, right? Notice that they didn't engage in the cyberbullying when I was speaking on Evil Twins' bad behavior, right? Notice that my audience didn't egg me on to that because they actually believe in elevating and enlightenment. I do find it wild that a bunch of Christians who know what the Bible says, right, were in there egging on somebody to cyberbully another individual and then support lies about them. Now, I swore I thought it was you. You said it ain't you. I'm going to take your word for right now. I truly apologize, Miss Eugenia Williams, for assuming that you were the woman. Okay? I'm going to move on with my life. And again, I hope that you would give me a chance before you cast your judgment and actually just listen to what I say and not what you know, personally, your personal attachments to the religion. Right? Because at the end of the day, none of y'all are debunking the claims that I presented. You know, you just kind of like letting your emotions drive you, right? And I get it because I was in the same way. I apologize for saying you have religious psychosis, even though I truly believe that. But if that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, right? I was just giving another example of a mental illness that these people are trying to add into, you know, the book, right? So I apologize. I'm gonna move forward with my show, but I'm telling you, if I find out that that was you, I'm gonna get your ass back for lying. But again, Miss Eugenia, nothing personal. I was just trying to make sure was it you or not. So all right, y'all. Let me go ahead and keep going. She said she was calling Nasty Nate. Well, I'm gonna take your word for it for right now, but I'm gonna go back and check, ma'am. So I'm gonna let it go, and I apologize. But I could have swore it was you. Cause you know, because again, you were in there while I was getting dragged, you know. But it's all good. It's all good. We gonna see who's the righteous one at the end, okay? But I apologize. No, seriously, I apologize. You know, if I'm wrong.
She sought a no contact stalking order. That shows from what these appellate judges are saying that she's not a threat to the community. Then goes on to say because she is pregnant, that this limits her ability to possibly commit violent acts while she is awaiting trial. Now
This the thing is right here. This is what I'm pleased because I want to move on. I just looked down at my chat and you are chatting your ass off, right? I ain't even finna read through all of it. But this is the point that you said I'm not afraid of you dropping no receipts. If you know you didn't do anything wrong, you don't have to be afraid. But I'm asking you, if you truly know that you didn't do any ill will towards me, then let it go. I apologize to you, right? Mistakes happen, misunderstandings happen. You just seen Honey get blocked by KG, right? Misunderstanding. So if it was a misunderstanding, then I apologize. But if you want to keep trying to find a way to get on the defense, because again, I know the reason why you on the defense because you're biased, ma'am. Because let's be honest, Miss Eugene, me and you don't had some back and forth disagreeing about religion. So don't try to act like this is our first conversation. You know, I get on the defense when you're around. You get on the defense when I'm around, right? Because our personal belief about your religion. Now I'm asking you to pipe down in the comment section. I apologize if it was not you. I'm just letting you know, if I find out it was you, I'm gonna get your ass back. But if you know you didn't do nothing wrong, you reassured me that you wasn't talking about me, or you didn't say that, then let it go. I apologize. But I remember I side-eyed that comment because I was like, now I'm a narc, bruh. I'm a covert narcissist. Like, y'all can't come up with better than that. I'd rather you call me a heathen or a blasphemer. Hell, call me a damn bulldagger, but don't call me a personality trait. Number 3, one of the worst 3 most personality trait a person can have here on earth. Narcissistic people are very dangerous. That's why I don't tolerate them. I don't play with them. I don't entertain them. Once I realize I'm dealing with a narcissistic person, I get as far as away from them as possible. Okay? I don't even give them chances, right? Because they're dangerous. So, but now I'm finna move on because, like I said, I'm asking you not to get in your feelings and make this about you. I just wanted to ask you, was it you? Okay? But I'm looking at the comments and it seems like you're trying to find a reason to get defensive. This ain't the first time me and you don't went back and forth, ma'am. Like, let's be real. Now, I apologize. If you didn't say that, I said I was sorry. So, all right, back to the, now this is my last response. Now I can't keep going back and forth with you. I got to get to my point because I want to get off of here.
I don't know why they're saying in this document that she's pregnant. I have verified about 85% sure that the pregnancy was terminated. But I want y'all to understand something, right? So I don't think a lot of people understand how the appellate court works. Maybe some people do. But what the appellate court does is you're not arguing new information to the appellate court. The appellate court is looking at whatever was argued initially at the initial hearings, trial release hearings, or detention hearings, I'm sorry. So they look at that information at the previous detention hearings, and they consider what was or wasn't considered at those hearings, and then they make their decision from that. The prosecution and the defense is not submitting new evidence to the appellate court unless there's like this big piece of evidence that can bang the case all up or something like that. But for the most part, the appellate court looks at the previous pretrial hearings, detention hearings, and they make their decision based off of that, because the whole purpose of the appellate court is to ensure that all legalities were followed, that the state followed procedure, and that this person that is being detained has, been afforded all of their rights. And so that is the purpose. Now, I find this part interesting because it says one of the reasons that she should be released is because she's not a threat to the community because she's pregnant. And even though her pregnancy does not preclude violent actions on her part, its progression may limit her ability to engage in violent acts. So this is one of the reasons why I say that the state very much so may, and I believe they should, motion to appeal this decision. And they probably will. They have the opportunity to do so. So they can still request a motion for a stay for Quadesia, meaning that she needs to stay detained while they sort this out. Because it needs to be determined, is Quadesia even still pregnant? Because from what I've heard, she's not pregnant. From what I heard, she's not pregnant. That shouldn't even be in this decision, from what I hear. Okay. We also find it persuasive that Ms. Johnson remained at the scene until police arrived and fully cooperated with them. Well, where the hell was she gonna go? She just unalived somebody in front of several people. Where was she gonna go? Then it says, in addition, although these events all occurred on September 8th, 2025, Ms. Johnson was not arrested until December 3rd, 2025. Thus, for almost 3 months, she remained out of custody, but in touch with police as they continue to investigate this case. This fact also demonstrates that she had not posed then, and likely will not pose if released, a threat to the other witnesses involved in the case, as the circuit court suggested that she might. Well, I mean, while she was out, the witnesses names hadn't been released yet. But then it goes on to say, we also find this to be a case where conditions could be imposed that would mitigate against any possible threat, and we remand to the circuit court for consideration of those. significant to us is the fact that Johnson had both a FOIA card and a concealed carry license for the weapon that she used. This suggests that she would adhere to a court order banning her possession or use of any firearms, which surely would be a condition for her release. For those defendants who have been arrested and are awaiting trial for offenses involving illegal GUN possession, a ban on the possession of firearms is often viewed as an ineffectual condition of release. However, for Ms. Johnson, who it appears from the record has never owned a weapon illegally, this is a condition that could and should mitigate strongly against any threat. Then goes on to say, finally, we note that there is an additional consideration in this case because if the detention order remains in place, Ms. Johnson could have to give birth while in jail. They're putting a lot of emphasis on Quadesia giving birth. So y'all sit back. It ain't over till the fat lady sings. Y'all sit back and wait to see if the state is going to respond to this.
Now, again, I know some of y'all, hopefully y'all did watch Oprah's live and she reread this. I just wanted to review it again back on this part where the two judges who sided with the defense, they did take other things, like when they formed their judgment, they took a lot of stuff into consideration, that, you know, Holly doesn't have a violent background, she doesn't have a criminal record, whatever she did have was a misdemeanor, right? That she seemed to be trying to be responsible for is somebody who had a gun legally, right? That she put out a TPO on Romeka, right? And that and then you know, they also told, you know, the people, you know, the judgment, oh, and also she's pregnant too. So there was a lot of contributor factors of why they concluded what they did. But again, I'm still siding, and it's not just based off my biases. It's just I feel like the descending judge, the one who said no, I feel like he had the strongest argument, because regardless of all those things that they named about Romeka, I mean about Holly, her doing things legally the right way, she still did not consider that she was letting off gunshots in a school area where her kid was even in the car. Somebody else's kid was somewhere around, you know, the area, right, or attended school. She did not take anybody else's life in consideration because she was that focused on unaliving Romeka. And remind you, Romeka did not have a weapon. That's why I call Holly supporters cowards, right? For the nerve of some of them say that she's a hero in whose book? According to the God y'all, you know, cherry pick and hypocritically believe in and serve, even to his standard, right? That was murder. That's one of the the number 3 or 4th commandment or something. He has a problem with people who shed innocent blood. Romeka didn't even have a weapon, right? She was gonna kill her with her bare hands. What's the chances of that happening when you got your strong ass bodybuilding baby daddy in the middle of y'all, right? Or you could have simply got in a car and called the police or pulled the fuck off, right? So the judge, Mitchell, is looking at it like, okay, yeah, she probably was being a responsible citizen by making sure she covered herself, but she made a poor decision when she let off shots in a public area. So over a rivalry, over a relationship, that basically that judge saying that she'll pull a weapon instead of handling a what's the word he said? Dang, I forgot what word he used. A conflict, instead of resolving the conflict in a non-violent way. He basically saying, no, she the type, she's gonna pull out a gun to resolve her conflict. This is more than it being personal between two women beefing over a baby daddy. He's saying that she don't have no regards for other human lives, and I agree with him.
Before the Pretrial Fairness Act was enacted, a separate 2019 provision in the bail statute required a hearing before any pretrial defendant was required to give birth in custody. The provision currently provides that it is the policy of the state that a pretrial detainee shall not be required to deliver a child while in custody, absent a finding by the court that continued pretrial custody is necessary to alleviate a real and present threat to the safety of any persons or persons in the community.
My bad, real quick, y'all, real quick. I'm gonna let this play. And you know what else I thought? Y'all know how Brianna, and mind you, I don't drag Brianna or the truth over here. I don't have a side in none of those people's lives, right? I wish them the best, right? Y'all remember how Brianna just recently caught criminal charges for allegedly, attacking Jonelle or trying to fight the girl or whatever. So I would ask Holly supporters, Nasty Nate and her crew, if the girl who was upstairs, who Brianna was trying to, confront, right? If she would have pulled out a weapon and shot Brianna, would y'all be saying the same tune? Because it was obvious, according to that footage, that Brianna was the aggressor, right? Whoever the girl was stayed out of the fucking way. She didn't come down there, I guess, challenging her. I guess, if I remember how the story was told, right? I didn't see no video of her and the girl squabbling up, right? But the girl stayed upstairs out the way, and Brianna was telling her to bring her ass downstairs, right? And trying to confront her. If they would have confronted each other and Brianna would have started throwing them hands on old girl and the girl pulled out a weapon and shot her, would y'all be saying the same stuff, or would y'all be crying, saying that, the girl didn't have to use lethal force? She could have just stayed upstairs or something. I'm just curious how that work. How does y'all biases work? Is it really determined by what Nasty Nate say? Because we know y'all don't use the Bible to determine righteousness, right? What's right or wrong ethically. We know y'all ain't using the Bible, because if you did, you would be Team Romeka, right? So is it really that, do y'all really just sit and wait for another person to think for you? It's sad, because even the person who y'all allowing to think for you is not even that damn intelligent. That's the most crazy shit. That's why I feel sorry for a lot of y'all. The person who you allowing to think for you is not even that smart. She lacks reading comprehension very bad, right? She can read it, but she can't comprehend what she read. That's a skill. Now I
The
see why
trial court
she failed that land navigation test. She could read the map, but she couldn't comprehend the instructions on the map.
citing this section of the statute suggested that Ms. Johnson's pregnancy would require the renewed consideration of whether Ms. Johnson should remain in custody as her due date approaches. So they believe that Quadacia's pregnant at this here moment. It says, as her due date approaches. However, for the reasons outlined above, we believe that Ms. Johnson should be released sooner rather than later to prepare for and give birth to her baby, and to prepare with her counsel for trial. They need to subpoena her health records from the jail, because to my knowledge, from what I understand, she got an abortion in jail. It then goes on to say, and that could be a part of the response, if the state responds, which I believe they will. It goes on to say, our dissenting colleague, and that dissenting colleague basically means,
this is okay. I finally get to the point. Damn, I don't know why. So this is the part I'm gonna let play without interrupting, because I want y'all to hear what the judge said. But Rakia, like, and at least Jonelle stopped Bree from getting upstairs. Carlos let Holly unalive Romeka, because I'm telling you, when they was demonizing and dehumanizing Romeka, you remember they was saying that you can't be running up on everybody. Everybody ain't playing. Everybody ain't no fighter. Everybody, you put your hands on somebody, somebody choose to pull a weapon. I was like, their Lord and Savior Brianna was ready to throw some hands on a female, right? She ready, right? From what I recall, right? Now, mind you, I ain't making fun of her, because I know how women get emotionally. I keep telling you, even my gay ass, when I was in love with my ex-husband, right? When I was married to a man, I almost took a bat to a female's head over him, right? Niggas ain't right. They ain't disciplined. They be doing too much. A female wanted to fuck with my marriage and thought I wasn't gonna do nothing about it, and I was gonna play baseball with her, right? I was gonna, hit a home run, because she was a big bitch. She was taller than me and everything, right? I was like, I don't know if I can take her one-on-one, but I'm gonna go ahead and pull this, this steel bat out my trunk, and I'm gonna knock her ass across this damn field, right? So I was willing about to do some damn time, cause not thinking, right? Being emotional, right? People need to realize your emotions is very very stronghold. Your emotions can really have a stronghold on you if you're not disciplined and you don't have self-control, right? I in that moment ain't give a shit, right? I was on that type of time. I was gonna fuck old girl up, because I just felt like the bitch was disrespecting my marriage. Like, we married, So that means you disrespect me, so you try me. So now I'm finna fuck you up. But I told y'all the story about my nephew saved old girl. That's why I keep telling y'all I'm the world's greatest auntie. The reason why I ain't knocked that bitch out on home field, because my nephew was running towards the car, right? When he seen me passing by his road, I seen my nephew chase down my car. So I wound up not fucking that bitch up, right? Because I seen his ass chasing, calling, chasing after his auntie, because I'm the world's best auntie. He wanted to see me. And I knew that it wasn't worth it, because I said, damn, if I hit this bitch, and if I fuck her, they gonna throw the book at me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just feel like when I thought about that, I said, damn, Brianna was like in a situation like that. Now, mind you, I ain't judging her, because women get in their feelings. That's what we do, right? And then I'm a fighter on top of that. I ain't gonna be trying to shoot nobody. Like if they want mutual combat. Now, if I don't want mutual combat and you attack me, then yes, I will pop your ass with a weapon, because I'm not agreeing to mutual combat. But if there's an agreement to mutual combat, I'm not picking up no weapon. We're just gonna have to squabble up. But I was like, damn, Brianna would have got popped by an old girl who was upstairs, avoiding the drama, and Brianna made it up them stairs, and we found out she pew-pewed her. Would they be saying the same thing? Or would they be biased? Because it's not about defending what's right. It's defending who they like and whoever nasty Nate approve. And it's sad. I'm so glad the universe pulled me away from that, toxic environment. I'm glad that I'm out of all that shit, period. Y'all know me in these little communities and groups. I'm just not, I ain't found my tribe yet, but I'll keep searching. But until then, I'll be on my own side over here, right? And it's forever justice for Romeka over here, and regardless of the outcome of the case. Now, I'm hopeful that there will be justice, right? I'm going to stand alongside Miss Tina and Auntie Leslie and rock with the family, right? And fight with them. Anything I can do for them, I told them, just let me know, right? I'm going to stand with them during this fight, but it's going to be forever Team Romeka. That girl should still be here. She did not deserve to have her life taken away because of a little weak ass bitch named Holly, who just didn't, who was in her feelings about her relationship with Carlos and who their baby daddy was, So I just feel like it was a senseless crime. She should be here. Romeka should still be here, regardless of people didn't like her or not. She should still be here. Amir's mother should still be here. He should still have a mother. So, but I wonder if somebody would have shot Bree and took her away from her 6 kids, would y'all be saying the same thing? Like, put yourself in can you judge righteously or not? Right? But all right, so now this is the part where Upper is gonna read what the other judge say, because I want y'all, the main point of why I wanted to play this part and focus on this part, I want y'all to see, regardless of the people who's over there thinking that life is like Monopoly and that Holly have this get out of jail free card because she pregnant, or the judges felt a little sympathy for her because she was pregnant. That I want y'all to see that everyone is not falling for this self-defense. I want y'all to clearly hear when Upper reads what the descendant judge said. I think his name was Judge Mitchell. He clearly lays it down that he, even in his mind, he know this wasn't no self-defense bullshit. And that Holly, a person like Holly with that type of mentality, is a danger to the community. So I want y'all to see that he articulated, it was a very strong point.
They're talking about the judge that didn't agree with them, okay? It says, our dissenting colleagues suggest that we fail to appreciate the dangerous situation created by Ms. Johnson firing shots on a public street with children around when she pew-pewed Ms. Blackman on September 8th of last year. And they are failing to to take that into consideration. But then they go on to say, of course we do, and that may well be an appropriate consideration at trial. But that is not the question now. Rather, the question under the Pretrial Fairness Act is whether Ms. Johnson would be such an ongoing threat to public safety that she must remain in custody while she awaits trial. So let me stop it there. So the 2 judges that agree that she should be released pending trial are saying that even though she did basically shoot up a block with a school on it, that she should be released because there is no evidence showing that she would do it again. In other words, she eliminated her victim. Her victim has been eliminated. There's no proof in her background saying that she would do this again. Okay, and so then it goes on to say trial will also be the right time to choose between the competing narratives of the confrontation between Ms. Johnson and Ms. Black. The dissent paints Ms. Johnson as the clear aggressor, motivated by jealousy or anger at a romantic rival, rather than by fear for herself and her 6-month-old child. We have briefly laid out some of the contrary evidence in our recitation of the facts, and we recognize that it will be up to the trier of fact, not us, to determine if this was a M-word or self-defense. So they're saying that will be determined at trial. And because that has to be determined at trial, they're saying that is not a viable reason to keep her incarcerated at this time. So it goes on to say, cite People versus Gage, and support for its suggestion that this court is asking the trial court to do the impossible in remanding to determine what conditions should be imposed. Hold on a second, y'all. Ms. Johnson's release to protect the community. Those cases are, of course, totally different. Ms. Gage was already on pretrial release in another case when she was arrested in the case cited. Neither of these defendants waited for the police to arrive, cooperated fully with them, and were released for several months following the pew-pewing. These are very different facts. In Ms. Johnson's case, suggests that she will fully comply with whatever conditions of release are imposed, including but not limited to possessing no firearms, a condition that we direct the circuit court to include. We trust that the trial court will be the best position to decide which other conditions are feasible, fair, and protected. And then we are down now to page 12, where it gets to the conclusion. For the above reasons, we reverse the circuit court's order granting the state's petition for pretrial detention and remand with directions to the circuit court to determine the conditions of Ms. Johnson's release. Reverse and remanded. Presiding Judge Ms. Mitchell dissenting. Now, I believe that this part is the Judge Mitchell is the dissenting party, meaning he's the judge that did not agree. It goes on to say, the suggestion that the unaliving of a romantic rival is a very personal and specific controversy with no bearing on public safety is a dangerous fiction. It mistakes personal motive for narrowness of risk. That defendant has already unalived her victim does not support the conclusion that she no longer presents a real and present threat to the community. And then he goes on to say, our defendant gunned down her victim on a busy street in Chicago South Loop shortly after 9 a.m. on a weekday morning. What began as a verbal altercation quickly escalated and was witnessed by passersby. The incident took place in proximity to a school where the victim had just dropped off her 6-year-old child.
Now, even though the appellate court is not there to argue the facts of the case, I want y'all to see that the judges are making it clear of what they actually believe happened. That judge said a verbal altercation. He didn't say physical. A physical altercation. Even the other judges ain't even say physical. But the one who's disagreeing with them, the dissenting judge, the Judge Mitchell, he or she is stretching that this was in a public place, right? If she only had one target and she just wanted to take Romeka out, she could have, if she would have did it somewhere privately, maybe in the home, maybe, you know, somewhere where it's not public, he maybe consider. He's trying to tell y'all that this girl don't have no regards of other people's lives. Okay? She was willing to gun down her enemy in front of a public place in front of everybody. Okay? That means that person is dangerous. Okay?
Child fathered by Carlos Smith, who also fathered defendant's 6-month-old child, also on scene. According to a witness account, Smith struck the victim with her own car door repeatedly and then had her in a chokehold while defendant went to her car to retrieve a 9mm handgun. The victim broke free from Smith and backed away. Defendant then walked towards the victim, who was unarmed, fired a shot, paused, and then fired 2 more shots. And with that, defendant and Smith fist bumped. What does this crime say about public safety? It says that when confronted with the ordinary conflict inherent in human relations, defendant extinguished a life. Let me stop it here. Shout out to Twin Girl for that 2-month membership. I appreciate you. So this is what the judge that didn't agree with the other 2 judges said, and I think that he makes the most sense, to be honest. What the other 2 judges are doing is they're trying to minimize what Cordasia did by saying that she's not a danger to the community because she had one rival and she extinguished her. She eliminated her. So she's not a danger to the rest of the community because the person that she may or may not have been a danger to, she killed him already. This is what the other two judges are saying, essentially. And so the dissent, the Judge Mitchell, who doesn't agree, says, what does this crime say about public safety? It says that when confronted with an ordinary conflict inherent in human relations, meaning that all human beings are at some point going to have a conflict that they may have to resolve. He then goes on and says, defendant is extinguished a life. And defendant did so despite her firearm training and lawful licensing, and despite her past willingness to abide by the law. This unaliving was not merely intentional and avoidable violence, but it is violence unmoored from proportion and restraint. Defendant chose to resolve her grievance not through withdrawal, dialogue, or legal process, but through destruction of her rival. That choice is revealing. It demonstrates a willingness to answer human conflict, common, recurring, and unavoidable, with lethal force. Public acts of deadly violence demonstrate not just a willingness to unalive, but a willingness to do so without regard for surroundings, bystanders, or collateral consequences. A defendant who has crossed that threshold once cannot be assumed to pose no danger of crossing it again. The condition prompting the pew-pewing, an argument, can and will arise again. One thing that I noticed that, I'm gonna stop it right here, I'm on line 48, or passage 48, is that this physical fight that everybody is talking about occurred. They're not talking a whole lot about a physical fight at this point. From what I read, there's an underlying acknowledgement that this was a verbal altercation, like we've all been saying.
Right.
So this dissent, Judge Mitchell is saying that the condition that prompted her to take a life was an argument. It says there is no natural boundary confining that risk to a single victim. Further, in the pretrial period, an accused undoubtedly faces enormous stress, the prospect of conviction, and a lengthy criminal sentence, the pressure of court proceedings, and concerns about witnesses and how they might testify. These circumstances underscore that the risk posed by defendant is ongoing and not confined to a single now deceased victim. My esteemed colleagues in the majority elevate defendant's lack of prior violent history to near controlling status. That is legal error. The statute lists criminal history as one factor among many. The statute certainly does not confer a get out of jail free card on first-time offenders accused of serious violent crimes. Indeed, the absence of a prior violent criminal history in this case does not negate the significance of the crime charged, but rather magnifies it by making the crime more inexplicable and the defendant's conduct seemingly more unpredictable. The majority disregards facts that firmly establish defendant's dangerousness. Defendant brought a pew-pew to an argument with an unarmed victim, and the confrontation ended with the defendant unharmed and her victim dead with gunshots to her face and leg. And all this happened on a busy city street in proximity to a school, a fact that is not in dispute. Astonishingly, the majority declares that may well be appropriate consideration at trial, but not when evaluating the risk posed to the community in a pretrial detention hearing. That conclusion constitutes unmistakable legal error. Further, the majority's confidence in largely unspecified conditions for release is misplaced. Electronic monitoring cannot prevent unaliving. So let me stop it here. So the Judge Mitchell is saying that they're saying that she could be, the circuit court should reconsider electronic monitoring. But what Judge Mitchell is saying is that electronic monitoring cannot prevent an unaliving. The only thing electronic monitoring does is track the person. So we know where you are. We know that you're not where you're supposed to be if you're out at a certain time or if you're out past curfew, but a band around your ankle cannot stop you from retrieving a weapon and firing it. So what Judge Mitchell is saying is that there are no factors that there are no mitigating factors besides detention in this case. Because
And I think that's a fair argument because again, he's reminding his his colleagues, I don't know what they call each other, that it's not about like if she had a past of being violent. This girl resolved a verbal altercation and chose violence, right? It's like kind of obvious, and he's saying that a ankle monitor, like they say if they put on house arrest, right? If she get into it with somebody else, how do we know that she ain't gonna try to resolve that conflict with pulling a gun? All right. So again, even though the other judges said that, of course, they're going to suggest that she's not allowed to have weapons or own a gun or be around a gun while she's on pretrial release. The other judge is saying, okay, but if the ankle monitor ain't gonna stop somebody from pewing somebody else again if they get into a verbal argument and she wants to play that game. I was afraid for my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I think the judge is honing in is that where she shot Romeka, like in this school zone, didn't care, right? Didn't care. And then I think the judge is looking like, and y'all, the judge ain't mentioned nothing about a physical fight. He's not even concerned about that. Like, well, if she had to defend herself, it is what it is. He said a verbal altercation. Verbal. And then Romeka ain't even have a weapon. Some hero Holly is, right? Y'all some sick motherfuckers. The ones I'm not sure where that came from, but when I got wind that they was over there calling her a hero, I said, what the hell is wrong with these women? They really studying y'all asses in some type of lab. A hero? You gonna go as far as a hero? A person who shed innocent blood? Come on now. A hero. Y'all acting like she a cop that gunned down an unarmed black person. They like to call them people heroes, right? Some sick shit, But I don't know, y'all. The Judge Mitchell made a lot of sense, but he has to go with, majority wins, and it was 2-1. And again, just to remind highly supporters, like I've been saying from the beginning, this is clearly not a clear cut black and white self-defense case, because if it was, then why is it so split? Even among the judicial system, the judges, even among them, they are split on how they feel or what they feel happened, right? Not if she unalive old girl, but they are split based off of, okay, is this person dangerous or not? They claim it's self-defense. We're not really sure if it was self-defense, right? But the law says that the state needs to prove that Holly is dangerous. And the other two people just felt like they didn't prove that, right? And then they took in consideration that she's also pregnant too. So another reason why it would be best for her to fight her trial at home and not in the prison system or not in the jailhouse. So, but Judge Mitchell ain't trying to hear that shit. Judge Mitchell like, hell nah, you shot what kids is that? You want us to take consideration your child? You wasn't taking consideration of the other people kids who's in their damn public school because you want to play Wild Wild West with you and your baby daddy. Judge Mitchell ain't trying to hear that shit.
Because the offense was unalive. So then it goes on to say, he goes on to cite People versus Simpson, explaining that electronic monitoring, regardless of the speed at which law enforcement can be notified of a violation, does not provide much in the way of prevention. Then he notes People versus Wayrick, recounting that the defendant committed first-degree unaliving while wearing a GPS ankle monitor. Firearm prohibitions can scarcely restrain an individual who, according to the state's proffer, resorted to lethal force in a matter of moments. Then he cites People versus Gage, determining that no conditions would mitigate the threat that the defendant posed to anyone who triggered defendant's temper, where defendant pew-pewed her friend after a dispute about doing the dishes. Then he goes on to cite People versus Martinez, rejecting GPS monitoring and agreeing with the state that no conditions short of detention would prevent the defendant from having the ability and the opportunity to act on an impulse to engage in violent behavior towards a member of the community and retaliate with deadly force after the individual retreats. It goes on to say, in granting the state's petition to detain, the circuit court recognized the hard truth. Some risks are not meaningfully reduced through conditions. If these facts, multiple gunshots on a busy street, an unarmed victim left deceased, and a celebratory fist bump do not constitute clear and convincing evidence of a real and present threat, then the statutory standard has been rendered meaningless. The Pretrial Fairness Act does not require courts to wait for a second dead body before recognizing that the defendant poses a real and present threat to the community. For these reasons, I would affirm that the order detention. Accordingly, I respectfully dissent. Excuse my cat in the background, y'all. And so the document ends, obviously a majority of the document are the opinions and what the other two appellate judges believe. The very end of this document is the statements from Judge Mitchell, where he is in complete disagreement with the other two judges. However, as we know, with the appellate court, majority rules, meaning that regardless of what Judge Mitchell is saying, the other two judges basically outrule that judge. Okay, so now this decision has to be sent back down to the circuit court, where it is remanding Judge Clancy to reconsider and to put in place things to instead of jail for quotation. Let me look at some of these comments. However, a lot of people are celebrating too early, because even though the appellate court has already put this in place and they've made their decisions, two judges have agreed that she should be released. One judge has not agreed to her release. The state still has the opportunity to respond to this opinion. They still have the ability to request a motion in the circuit court.
I wonder if the judge can still overturn that if he strongly feel like. I wonder if does he have to do what the appellate judge court, even though I think he's in a lower level. I wonder if he can still challenge. Like he was like, I still stand with my decision, or being that he's, I wonder how that works. I wonder if he can refuse. That or do he have to take it in consideration because they said so? I don't know. I wonder how that works, but because I never seen a unique case like this before. Because like I said, I'm from a state. He's either the judge gonna give you a bond or you ain't gonna get no bond. You get what I'm saying? And usually, unaliving, usually don't get a bond, and if they do get a bond, it's like millions of dollars. So the person usually can't get out anyway. But yeah, I just thought that was wild. I wonder, can he refuse or can he challenge them? I wonder if he can go above them, right? But anyway, being that one judge did side with him, I wonder if there's some type of law. If it's not a unanimous decision, I wonder if he can challenge it, right? That'll be something to look into. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Again, Romeka should still be here. I don't understand why Nasty Nate and her crew are celebrating. Like, I mean, for them to use the word that we were right. No, y'all have not been right about nothing, right? And that this win that y'all are celebrating is not saying that Holly is innocent, y'all. This is what I keep saying. They keep mocking. A lot of countries mock America because they say that the average American reads on the 6th grade reading level, right? I understand now why Upper Key saying stupid can't play with smart. You're celebrating as if her charges are being dismissed, and that's not. It's actually looking even more worse for her, being that we got two judges who still just acknowledging this as a verbal altercation, that there nothing physical happened between the two of these girls, right? It's this not Monopoly. Okay, y'all say hold up, wait a minute. Let me put some facts in it. Okay, the appellate court was just simply saying the state didn't the state didn't reach that burden of proof to prove that Holly's dangerous. That's the only thing the state sided with, right? That's what the only thing the judges said. Y'all did not produce enough for us to believe that this girl is that dangerous, right? One judge said they did, the other two said they did. Right, but they never said that we are considering dismissing, because y'all know Ari is known for the technicalities, right? From my understanding, she never really took a trial like this, a case like this to trial, but she's really good at finding the loopholes, and that show you that she's really is an intelligent lawyer. I ain't gonna shit on her for what she doing, and I feel like she got to do her job. We got to respect it, even though we don't like it, right? She getting paid good money through that CCW insurance, right? Them people want their money's worth, so she better show up and do her damn job, right? Her job is to find technicalities. I am confident that she would not be able to win this trial with a solid defense. I think she's gonna keep doing what she does best, finding the loopholes, right? I eventually my gut is telling me that this might end in a Polly taking a plea. I think that might be some. I don't know why I've been feeling that way, but I keep feeling like that's part of what it's gonna lead up to. especially if she knows that she's facing life or whatever. Because again, the state is like, the state want all the smoke. Like, they added more charges to the girl, right? And none of the judges mentioned that these charges should be dismissed, right? They didn't argue if they thought this was self-defense. The judges are saying, we just don't think she's a danger to the community. So, by our law that we have to enforce, she legally can fight her case home. Now I feel like somebody need to change that law, because something as serious as unaliving should not be the case. But Upper educated me on about her city and let me know that the jail system is pretty overcrowded out there. That's the reason why they got rid of the cash bonds. People were sitting in jail for years over, they sitting there waiting on a trial date simply because they couldn't afford to bond out. So, because I'm from Florida, they'll throw a cash bond at you. Because I think my first serious charge, my bond was only like $2,000, and my mom had to pay $200 to get me out. Right? She had to pay 10%. So I was raised in the state that you got a bond, So, but she educated me on the politics behind that, because I was like, why are they even considering this? You know what I'm saying? This girl shot old girl down in cold blood. What else I'm gonna say? So again, to the doodloos, what y'all call them, Holly doodloos. Hey man, I guess celebrate. I don't know. Maybe y'all needed a a win so you could feel better about yourself. I don't know, but y'all were not right. Like, from I don't know if it's true or not, because I don't watch Nasty Nate. I even heard that Nasty Nate called Carlos and told her that Holly got released, and somebody was like, "Girl, she has not been released. She's still in jail, right?" But I heard that it went that far. I don't know if that's true or not, because again, I don't watch Nasty Nate, okay, at all. I can't stand the sound of her voice. But being that they making this shit into like a some type of fandom, if this makes sense, like this is not sports. Like, you're not cheering for your favorite football team or your basketball team. This ain't the Super Bowl. These are real people, real life with real children. This real situation. They're human just like you. And I feel like a lot of y'all should be fucking ashamed of yourself, because if that was your loved one, if your loved one was Romeka, deep down in your heart, you would not be siding with no damn Holly. You would want justice for someone taking your relative's life when they senseless. When they made a senseless choice to do that shit. Like, you like, let's be honest, y'all know that if it was somebody you love and care about, you would not be supporting a murderer, an unaliver, right? Shame on y'all for doing this shit just so you can feed that lady's ego. That's why I believe in purpose and destiny, and I keep telling y'all to be patient, right? I think it was not a mistake that the universe allowed us to see another part of Romeka when she left that letter to her son, to show us what type of woman she really was, and how much she loved on her baby, that she fed him life. That speaks a lot when a woman speaks life into her child. That the universe let us see that side of her, because it was preparing the world to preparing the world and the family, right? Preparing us for people like Nasty Nate and her crew, who's going to do everything they can to dehumanize a human, right? We are all humans. If the Most High allow you to come into existence, you have the right to live, right? And nobody has that right to take that life away from you unless you're trying to take their life. Romeka clearly was not trying to take Holly's life at that time, being that she got back into the damn car. She didn't get back into the car to retrieve a weapon or to hit Holly with her car. Clearly she didn't have murder on her mind, because she sat there, according to witness, with her arm folded. As they argue, she had her arms folded. She wasn't even in a fighting stance. So Holly knew that girl was not on that type of time. Holly is full of shit, and y'all know it. But the sad thing is, deep down inside, y'all really know the truth. But y'all doing this shit for Nasty Nate, bro. Shame on you. And if there is some type of judgment when you die, I hope God judge all y'all asses together and give y'all a punishment together. Cause like how? How can you be that fucked up in the mind? You can support Nasty Nate and not support her bullshit. But to defend a unaliver, bro, I mean a person who would do that, I promise you I'll be saying a different tune if Romeka had a weapon. Or if Holly was popped her while Romeka was actively attacking her. I promise you I'll be singing a different tune because you have the right to preserve your life. But you don't have the right to be the judge and the executor because you simply just don't like someone. Because you don't like who he did, that y'all share the same baby daddy. Y'all beefing over a nigga. Shame on y'all for that shit, man. This ain't Monopoly. That get out of jail free card, I mean, Holly should be grateful that the bitch is, if she is pregnant, that she is pregnant because her baby even helping her get the fuck out of jail. Not beat the case, but at least get her out of jail. But I don't see how the defense can argue this, especially with them two facts that I'm saying that if it's true that the state can prove that Holly went and got that gun after the fight, Holly is through. Ain't no judge gonna convict that her based off of that unless they all Nasty Nate supporters, right? And I truly believe when Upper played that part of, when she read the part of the transcripts where Ari's team is saying that they are getting anonymous phone calls from other witnesses, I truly believe that's the nasty sickos that I really think these are fandoms of Nasty Nate who's doing sick shit like that. Because we know how far y'all would go. Right? Now, the universe is finally putting some paperwork on Nasty Nate, and she got a default judgment, proving my point even further that just because someone gets a default judgment doesn't mean they actually did what they're being accused of. Right? But in a Nasty Nate situation, she definitely did what she being accused of. She done it to a lot of people. Felicia finally just decided to do it the right way. And I'm proud of her for that. Right? I'm proud of you for doing that shit, Felicia. Right? Protect your family, protect your peace, protect your employment. Do what you gotta do. Right? Do what you gotta do. But I just feel like at the end of the day, I want y'all to stay encouraged to the Romeka supporters. Because you can see how sick this lady, like the people that support her, that like this human centipede is sick. I told y'all when I was doing my spiritual prayers and stuff like that, for me to get an image of a human centipede in my mind for us, when I ask the Most High above, what is it, what type of energy I'm dealing with, I get a human centipede imagery in my head. Like, these women have no limits. I actually encourage y'all not to go back and forth with the people, right? Don't even argue with them, right? Or, don't even watch Nasty Nate's live. She ain't getting no view from me. I ain't watch her shit, right? I just listen to what other people were saying, right? But I encourage y'all, these people are unwell in their head. They sick to the point that they do not value life. This is not about right and wrong. This is about ego, y'all, and it's sick, right? And I'm judging them, right? I'm literally judging them. That's why I said I drew a line in my ethical standards, right? My moral standards, my principles. That's not a difference of opinion if somebody's life is worth value. If the Most High let them come into existence, their life is valuable. Only time I feel like when they need to be eliminated or terminated away from the community is when they're causing harm, like trying to unalive another person's life who life is valuable too. Right? That's the only time I'm gonna be okay with that. But that was not the case in this situation, and y'all know that. If Holly went back and got that gun, she threw. Right? She done. If she really went up to Romeka's car and banged on her car while Romeka was in that car, she is done. She provoked Romeka to get out the car. Right? She threw. I don't see how Ari's smart, but I don't see how she gonna beat this, man. I really don't. But y'all were not right. All right, stop saying y'all were right. The defense has not proved that y'all were right. Right? Only thing is happening now is that the state is trying to be fair about the laws that they came up with. Right? Their job is to explain the laws to us and enforce those laws. Right? People go to school for a long, long time to learn how to understand these laws. Chat GPT can only do so much for us. Right? But the people whose job is to go study this stuff, they know better than we do. Even if we disagree with them, right? They know better. So only thing we can do is just trust in our system, right? Our government system is not perfect. We know the justice is blind. It can be biased, right? We know, especially of people of color, right? Or if a person that it has money, right? You know, it's some type of classism too on top of that, right? But we have to be confident that the state, they're going to put up a good fight for us. Don't be discouraged. I mean, not only for us, but mostly important for the family, right? The best way y'all can keep supporting and fighting for Romeka is support the family and do what they ask, right? I think what's the little girl name? Tone. I hope I ain't saying her name wrong. Tone is currently showing a petition where people are signing a petition where they sending it to Miss Tina about the the crazy shit of people doing online and the the shit that Nasty Nate was doing or whatever. Um, if I was the state, I don't know how they could argue this. If they could bring this up, I would even show that Holly is a danger because she has a cult following now, right? Nasty Nate don't made her some type of I don't want to say martyr, but made her some type of symbol of self-defense, right? I would suppose that she's dangerous just because how her sicko fans are, right? Like I believe she can influence them to do whatever the fuck they want if Nate allows it, right? So me, if I was to stay, I would definitely find a way to twist that in and let the judge know that one of her fans leaked a witness information, right? Because again, I'm with Upper. That's very suspicious that the anonymous people just happen to be calling her office, making those statements right after Nate made the statements. You get what I'm saying? After Nate claimed these things, that's when these anonymous calls start going into Ari's office. Like, come on, y'all, use y'all common sense. Um, but yeah, but please stay encouraged, y'all. Support the family, respect the family. And does anybody know if they still doing the birthday bash for Holly? Because I actually haven't been on Facebook. One of my Facebook pages is deactivated. Um, but if anybody knows about that, please email me. Um, if they still doing that. Somebody says the street justice is needed if she is released. And you know what? Ross, I don't know if it's Ross or Rozzy, Ross. I ain't even gonna cap and low key at like I would feel some type of way if that was some street justice that happened because I was raised in the street. You know what I'm saying? I wish I can take the higher the higher approach of when you go higher when they go low and say that street justice is not appropriate here. But I low key don't feel that way. I'm one of those people. You get what you get what's coming to you, right? Like I'm telling you, if street justice was to go down, I wouldn't feel no type of way for Holly. I wouldn't. The only thing I'll be sad now, her kids don't have their mommy, right? I feel more sad for the kids, but I wouldn't be up here, acting like I cared, right? Because she didn't care about Romeka, so I wouldn't care about her, right? But it's a possibility. They live in a dangerous area, so but yeah. All right, y'all. The money just came in. I got to negotiate some things real quick. But with that being said, like again, this ain't Monopoly. Y'all think she got to get out of jail free card? No, she still got to face those charges, right? She's not in the clear yet. Like, you know, fat lady hasn't sung yet. Okay. And I think that her supporters need to pay attention to what the judges are saying. They're not siding with Holly. They did not say Carlos is telling the truth. The circuit judge said that Carlos wasn't even credible. Okay, so that's not what that paperwork says. The paperwork says the state did not just reach their burden of proof to prove that Holly is dangerous. And since they did not do that, we also gonna take in consideration she's pregnant. She doesn't have a violent past. She did have a legal firearm when she shot Romeka, and then she stayed around when the police come. She didn't even run, right? So that's the facts, y'all. That's the facts. All right, family. I think I'm out. I'll catch y'all in the next one. So, and yeah, peace. Yeah, I gotta go, y'all. I catch y'all in the next one. Justice for Romeka. Standing strong for Miss Tina, La Leslie, Amir. You know, I think it's gonna work out, y'all. I'm hoping. I have hope, just like y'all. We might be praying differently, but I want the same results as y'all. I want Holly to be locked up. I want them to throw her under the jail where she belongs, man. Where she belongs. So I'm hopeful. So don't give up, y'all. I mean, she ain't out yet. Hopefully the state say hell nah, fat ass nah. You know what I'm saying? Is this bitch even still pregnant? Okay. Hopefully there's something the state can do, right? But with that being said, make sure y'all remember your life is your holy book. Decode the darkness. Okay. Stay away from dangerous people. Do not group think. Think for yourself. Okay. God gave you your own mind. Okay. Think for yourself. All right. So, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace, family.
They try to mock us, turn solidarity into a joke. But pink ain't weak. Pink mean power, justice for all.
We the pink monkey squad, yeah, we going paint the city pink. For every tear that drop, we stand tall, we don't shrink. Voice for the silent now, truth louder than you think. Love over hate, yeah, we going paint the city pink. Pink, for justice painted pink. For her, but painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here. Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here.
Type behind screens, try to twist the narrative. Mocking solidarity, but we stand imperative. A mother gone too soon, that pain hit different. Dropped a baby at school, now the world feel distant. This bigger than drama, bigger than clicks. This about a child who gotta grow up this. We ain't no game, we are moving the truth. When they spread lies, we respond with proof. Call us Pink Mafia, we embrace that name. And pick me loyalty, then we claim that flame. We stand for a family, 10 toes deep. Why they chase attention, we don't lose sleep.
Pink Mafia squad, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. For every tear that drop, we stand tall, we don't shrink. Voice for the silent now, truth louder than you think. Love over hate, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here. Painted pink, for justice painted pink. For her, painted pink. For life, cause she should still be here. Like the morning changed everything in the blink of an eye. She should be here watching the sun grow tall. Instead we fighting lies while they trolling us all. But we don't fold, we don't bow. Cyberbully energy can't break us down. We advocate strong, no violence in speech. Just justice, accountability, truth we preach. We ain't fueled by hate, we fueled by care. By the weight of a loss that ain't fair. Everybody life matter, that's the stance. We paint the city pink in remembrance and prayer. Pink for the love, pink for the pain, pink for the tears falling like rain. Pink for the mothers, pink for the child, pink for the silence that's speaking loud. We the pink mafia squad, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. For every tear that drop, we stand tall, we don't shrink. Voice for the silent now, truth louder than you think. Love over hate, yeah, we gon' paint the city pink. Painted pink, the shirts is painted pink. For her, painted pink, for life, cause she should still be here. Painted pink, the shirts is painted pink. For her, painted pink, for life, cause she should still be here. She should still be here.